Hey guys, so today's video is about texting. So I would start with the advice for you to be calm and don't be pushy. Especially if you just met, not only it will use all your conversation starters before you meet next time, but it will create more stress for you. Don't try to force it, just let the conversation go in. It's much easier to make someone lose interest by being too pushy. Look at texting like as it would be a tennis match. When you're sending him text, wait for him to return it and send one back. If you're doing most of the talking or all you are getting back are one or two word responses, it's not a good sign, and it means that you're pushing too hard and he is losing interest. Make a few steps back and let them reinitiate. Next important thing is when we girls analyzing it too much, or when we overthinking it. Sometimes we overreact to something that in reality was probably a quick text from his side and he was distracted by something else or was going somewhere. Remember that guys often will respond to a text with one word or two word answer. It may include okay, great, or hang on, and guys don't really want to see a novel on their phones, so keep it brief and keep him interested. Also, don't text him at odd hours like late at night or really early in the morning. Next one is always mind your tone. Even if you're using emojis, you need to be careful with jokes, teasing, and even flirting. You may think you're being flirty and silly, and they might think you're being serious and crossing the line. If you have a feeling that something might be taken the wrong way, better stop yourself and always try to take another look at your text before you send it and read it out loud to yourself. A good rule is if you wouldn't talk to them about something in person, you shouldn't talk about it over text. Let's talk about the response time. I feel like there are two camps of people. One of them, people don't care if it's been like a few seconds after you receive the message and you replying. People in the other camp are counting minutes and would wait a few hours before replying, or would wait a certain amount of time for not to come as desperate. So there have been some researches that suggest you shouldn't answer every text immediately upon receiving it. It's been found out that there was a general cultural consensus that you shouldn't ever text back right away. According to focus groups, texting back immediately can potentially make you seem overeager or desperate. It may seem a little strange to immediately blow off a text, but it's possible it will make you more desirable, at least in the short term. With all that being said, I would recommend not to overthink it too much, but still, if you're busy doing something or you're driving, not to drop everything and reply in the text, because you don't want to show the other person like you don't have your own life. Another advice is for you to know when to stop texting. If he didn't reply one time, if there were two unreturned texts, that can be okay. He could forgot that he didn't reply, or he could have been very busy. But 3 unreturned texts, I would say it's a message and you better move on. Don't be overly eager. It is sometimes a red flag for guys. If he asks how you're doing, do not overwhelm him with novels about your day. And also do not bombard him with texts if he's not responding. No one likes double texting, especially if it's repeatedly. do not talk only about yourself. Ask him questions that will make him want to talk. Guys are just like us, they love talking about themselves. It gives you a chance to know him more and will break the ice by focusing on him to text you back. When you give him open-ended questions, it keeps the conversation flowing and he will enjoy talking to you. Though he should be asking questions about you too. If he's not asking you questions, if he only talks about himself, that maybe he's not that interested in you. Try to avoid long texts. Don't send him a message when you describing your whole day and it is all in one message and like he has to scroll and scroll to read everything. If you just met recently, focus your early texting on making plans. Too much predate texting can kill the spark you had. It's like you would know so much information that it would be like you are on your next date in terms of information, but on your first date in terms of physical chemistry, which can make things awkward. And also people can craft entire personas through their texts. By the time you meet the other person for an actual date, you've built up this whole image and you have fantasies in your head of who you're gonna meet, and they would turn out to be totally different. So after this advice, obviously there would be yourself, because there's no point of playing these games. Now you can pretend like you this kind of girl, but then when he gets to know you more, he will see that you were pretending, that you were lying, that you're a totally different person. Because let's be real, you can't pretend all the time, it's just tiring. And why would you need to be with someone if you just can't relax, even if you can't be yourself? Next one, about grammar and spelling. I think it's matter more than some people think. There was a study and they learned in the study that bad grammar and spelling was considered a turn-off in every interview they did for focus group participants, and generally interviewers explained that it made the sender seem unintelligent and lazy. And I totally agree with it. I don't like when someone you don't know for a long time, like you just met, and they sending you abbreviations or shortenings or like some weird words, and you like, you don't know the proper language, or you're just so lazy to write few words. Like, isn't that hard? Next point is about adding value to the other person's life. Avoid being a vamp, being a person who takes the energy right out of the other person. If he texts you saying, "Hey, how you doing?" do not text him back saying, "Oh, I'm bored, what are you doing?" That's like people who do that are looking for someone else to entertain them. They looking for someone to add value to their own life, like they can't do that on their own, and these people become a drain and they are no fun to be around. Instead, you want to be the person who adds value to the other people's life, and you add value, like you add light, love, laughter to their life. Avoid text writing. I think everyone knows nowadays that it's very like never-ending fight when you do that over text, that unless you get on the phone and talk, it's just not going anywhere. Like, everyone is angry, so yeah, just try to avoid that. And to sum this all up, I would say just be cute and funny if that's who you are. And try not to seem needy, and just be more laid back with the texting. I honestly think it's more about state of mind. If your mind is at the right place, it will be much easier for you to do the texting game. But if you're going through some crisis, or you have self-esteem issues, I feel like it's much more complicated. But yeah, just don't stress yourself out trying to be the best at texting. That's it, guys. I hope this video was helpful. If it was, make sure to like it, comment, and subscribe for more videos. And talk to you guys next time. Okay, bye.